So, season 1 ended with Kanan having to lay low after he shot Howard, but what Kanan didn't know was Rock was asking him to shoot his own father, and what Rock didn't know or anticipate was Detective Howard not only surviving, but in a miracle finding a bone marrow transplant from a colleague. Now of course, Rock didn't know he was dying of cancer, because if she did, I'm sure she would have let him just die on his own accord. But it really is ironic that Rock's plan actually ended up saving Howard's life, and now what does he want? I think we all know. So they tied up a lot of loose ends from the timeline of season 1 and 2, which was approximately 3 months. They laid the foundations to where all the characters are. For example, Lou focusing on his music, Marvin and Duke's relationship is broken, and Scrappy's addiction with gambling, which is something we're gonna come to in just a moment. So we're gonna run through the exclusive clips, interview quotes, and what we can expect for episode 2 in this preview. But episode 2 is titled Mind Your Business, and the synopsis reads: Rock learns she may have a snitch and tasks Marvin with confirming the rumor. Lou brings in a potential new artist, but he and Crown disagree. Kanan helps Famous sell mixtapes, and Duke tracks down her estranged mother. So let's start with where episode 1 finished, and that was with Detective Howard and Rock. Because in this exclusive clip, which is from the aftermath of their talk, you can see Rock is clearly shaken with whatever Detective Howard said, and for the first time, we actually see Rock showing a bit of vulnerable side to Kanan. Normally she's strong, dominant, and always has a plan, but the Detective Howard meeting clearly has a shock. So what will Detective Howard say to Rock that will make her tell Kanan he's got his brain all twisted and he may step to him and say some crazy shit? Of course, I think we all know he's bullshitting about his memory loss, and he'll tell Rock he knows it was Kanan who shot him, but not only that, he'll still want Kanan to know who he is, and sooner or later he'll reveal the truth, one way or another, and this is why Rock is scared. She's someone who's creating more lies to cover up the old lies, and sooner or later she's gonna start running out of room. And I do think the way Kanan gives his mom eyes in this scene, he knows his mom is lying, and there's something she's not telling him. So for the first time, I think we're gonna see Kanan searching for answers. Whether he meets Vernon Stark in episode 2 or not, I think it's a bit too soon, but I do think he's gonna start to dig for information. But let's look at the other aspect of Howard's and Rock's talk. Could he tell her he saw Scrappy and his mom at the precinct, and this Detective Howard called him his CI? But earlier in the week, I broke down why Scrappy may not be the CI, and why it could be his mom.
You won't slip.
I also refuse to believe Scrappy is someone who would snake Rock.
Scrappy lit a game. He know how it worked.
They took his eye.
Scrap a soldier, Kanan. Battle tested, built on these streets. He gonna be aight.
So that was Rock explaining how Scrappy is battle tested and knows the game. And so I don't think he's stupid enough to be a CI. But if his mom is, it still poses a threat for Rock, and she will task Marvin to find out if the rumors are true. Now London Brown, who plays Marvin, had this to say: Marvin at the beginning of season 1, people thought he was just an uncle that always made silly mistakes and bigging himself and eating, and that was on purpose. I knew he was going to take Marvin and create all these layers throughout this season. So within this next season, I think we're going to see Marvin be a little bit more responsible, and a little more respect is going to be shown from how they react with Marvin. So Marvin's going to play a crucial role in this investigation with Scrap, and with him being Rock's right hand man, let's see if he gets to the bottom of this situation. But either way, I don't have a good feeling for Scrappy, especially considering he disobeyed Rock's direct orders and carried on gambling. But as we talk about CIs, law enforcement, and snitches, let's talk about the increasing role of Detective Burke in season 2. So some quotes from both Omar Epps and Shanley Caswell reads: we see her kind of thrust into this new role, learning the ropes, and everything that's going on, she's just listening and watching. And then, in season 2, she steps in and asking more questions and getting a little bit more bullish, and so is fun. She becomes a little bit more troublesome, and Omar Epps said she starts asking all these questions that her partner got shot, so who did it? And he knows that she doesn't really know what she's stepping into, so he tries to push her away, but from the space of protection. And Detective Burke really doesn't know what she's getting herself into, especially with the information she's trying to dig and find. It's a territory in power which always spells dangers for characters, especially with law enforcement. And episode 1 showed Detective Burke definitely has her suspicions, and of course he's lying, but he's also in a way protecting Detective Burke, because he knows the game, and Burke may not be scared, but the streets really are unforgiving. But for the foreseeable, Detective Burke is going nowhere, and I see her meddling in things she really shouldn't be. And I did put in my death predictions, but I was 50-50, especially considering we've seen detectives like Greg Knox, Blanca Rodriguez, and Cooper Sachs stick around for a long time, but also being able to do nothing, which really would frustrate Detective Burke. But let's talk about the introduction of a new character called Cartier Duns Fareed. Now he's someone who's looking to work in DC and Baltimore, and even into other types of business like music and art. So naturally this will catch the attention of Lou, and we're gonna see Lou meeting Cartier, but he and Crown are gonna come to a disagreement, and Lou vs Crown is gonna be a familiar theme throughout season 2, and I do expect him to be offed at some point. But let's see what this new character brings to the table, and how it influences Lulu, because in episode 1, it was clear Lou is done with the game. He doesn't want control over the 40s, he's late to meetings, and he doesn't give a shit. So let's see how this latest addition to Raising Kanan influences Lulu. But on the introduction of new characters, we've been introduced to Ziza, and we're also going to be introduced to Cartier Duns Fareed in episode 2. But will we see the Italian Mafia as well? At the time of this recording, none of the trailers or teasers suggest we will, but it is definitely something to keep an eye on, either in episode 2 or definitely by episode 3. But elsewhere, while Kanan starts to question Rock, we're gonna see Jukebox searching for answers about her mom Kenya.
Not everybody up for the job. So, that's when my mom left me. She wasn't feeling cut out for the job.
But as with all stories, there's always history and secrets we don't know, and because of Juke's relationship with Marvin and her feeling so isolated, this is why she wants answers and why she's gonna look for her mom. Whether she tracks her down in episode 2, the synopsis suggests she does, but if she doesn't, I'm sure it's gonna be something we pick up with in episode 3, so maybe we could add Kenya to the new characters that may show up this week. But elsewhere, we've also got Kanan getting into trouble, selling mixtapes on the streets. Not dope, but Famous's mixtapes. But hopefully we do see Famous get in the game, and they may have foreshadowed this in episode 1. He's someone who's constantly smoking weed and getting high, rather than putting work in the music studio. So if things don't work out with music, we all know what he's gonna turn to. And that's a preview of episode 2, where we can expect Kanan to start questioning Rock about the truth for the first time. And are we in for the first death of the season, with potentially Scrappy or his mom, or potentially even both? Rock is ruthless, and if either one poses a threat, I don't think she'll hesitate to take them out. We also did see Rock and Kanan burying someone in the official trailer, so let's see if that's in episode 2. But drop all your thoughts and predictions down below, and of course if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.